Gmodism.
Well, hello and welcome back to Gmodism. This will be a short little video, and I just wanted to show you what's coming in AI. So we're talking a lot about artificial intelligence in the rest of the world, and from the depth is no difference. While it's not very artificial and while it's not very advanced, we have a beautiful little texture mesh update that is coming. Now this is not 100% sure it will actually look like this by the time it comes out, because this is on alpha test. And alpha test is, of course, everything is subject to change, but from our experience so far we can be pretty sure that it will kind of look-ish like this. Let me see, you can see here, there is a brain inside here still, that's good. And it looks a little bit more high definition than I remember it actually looking. So here we have the new AI core. You can see it looks like a pretty advanced little computer chip thing, and the brain inside is still there. So basically what has happened is that all of the AI components have gotten some new looks and some new meshes, I guess it's called. Mesh update, new models. So what I particularly like about this is that the connectors, they look like this. It looks much more like computer parts nowadays, and this is however uncolored. If we put some colored on it, it looks really sad. So I hope they will make it work with like colors, so we can have different colored AI parts, but without any color they look splendid. And the really cool thing is the general processing cards, because nowadays they look like these. You can see it looks like some type of extra processor, like from some computer from, who knows, the 80s maybe. So I think it looks really cool. The general processing units are looking quite realistic. They of course still take up a full block, but they look pretty nice there. So we're just gonna spawn the components. Here we have the wireless receiver, no, transmitter I mean. This is the wireless transmitter which you have on your AI. And this really looks like, 4G antennas they put down buildings and stuff like that to give some internet and stuff. And if you go down to wireless receivers, you can see that the receivers now have a defined radar dish thing. So it's much more obvious, because these models here, it wasn't kind of obvious who was sending and who was receiving. And with this setup, it's much more obvious, and they look so much more clean and advanced. Kind of reminds me of Starship Evo. Anyways, that's a completely different game, which we might get into in the future. But in any case, we should be checking out them here. We have also the local weapon controller and the all-in-one. I think they have the same kind of model like this. No, the all-in-one actually has... Oh, that's cool. So the all-in-one has some glowing bits to prove that it actually has parts inside of it. And the normal local weapon controller is like that. Oops, sorry. And there is actually a failsafe. So the failsafe looks like this now. So you can see it's updated. It has a similar outline, but it's updated. So that tells me that the local weapon controller with a manual failsafe add-on actually won't be going away, because I thought for a long time that they will probably just replace it with the all-in-one, but apparently not. They're still here. Then we have the AI breadboard, and I was greatly disappointed that it's not a loaf of bread, but it is this kind of computer data chip thing plugged in like that. And now I don't really know how to make stuff like this, but in any case, I guess they won't add stuff on it, but it looks pretty cool. It's like an extra little chip, like, the slot where you plug in your graphics card. It kind of feels like the same thing. And then we have the inter-vehicle transmitter, and I'm happy that it's not the same mesh again for this. It's another type of radar dish, and it is larger, which makes a lot of sense, because this is supposed to transfer data between vehicles, so it only makes sense it's actually larger. Then we have the AI card slot, and I think that looks pretty cool. You can see here, it really looks like we're having some slots there. So if we have an aim point selector, you can see it's really cool, because now it gets added in this little section. You can't add them at the wrong places, of course, but the blocks themselves are actually, like here is the block, but the mesh is actually offset. So we can't build anything here, even though we should be able to, since there is no actual thing here. So the mesh and the block has different orientations. So we have the target prioritization, and it still has the same mesh. Yep, they haven't changed that yet. We have additional behaviors, which are a little bit more neutral. And I think the designers have made a great job at looking looking really cool. We have a hovercraft. We have okay, all the airplane and stuff look the same. Circling ship has a ship, circling tank has a tank. Wow! And the plane, there is all the same for the planes. But it looks really cool, much cooler than the ones before, I think. The enemy simulator looks like a gaming grade Wi-Fi transmitter, but I don't know, that's not the block a lot of people use very often, because I mean, it's not useless, you know, it's just, well. This hasn't got any texture update, however, so that's this little peeper antenna thing. We can remove fog of war in game, hasn't been updated. I think that's the only part that hasn't been updated. So in any case, let us add some more stuff to check the detection components. So here we have the new laser rangefinder, and you can see it's getting colored, all of the parts of it. So I guess there will come some kind of update that fixes the color on these, so that it's a little bit more neutral. And I love these little what is it? This like in these mechanical screws that are on top of here. It looks pretty cool. And the circuit board connection surfaces really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But we should be going through them here. So here we have the boys, and I think the boys, I think they are updated too. No, I haven't. They are updated, yeah. I just don't use them very often, so, or I haven't, so, you know, I should sometime. Anyways, the passive radar is one of my favorites. It really looks like a TV antenna like this. And we can of course stick a radar 360 on top of that, like we usually do. And the new radar dish, radar 360 detector, I think it looks super splendid, because the old radar, like this one, the little sphere, the radar's disc sphere, was a little bit too small, so it kind of looked a little bit stupid. And here we also have, talking about large, here we have the radar, 90-degree radar. And this looks a lot like real radar detectors, I think, or some I've seen at least. So I think it looks pretty cool. I like that a lot. Really looks like stuff you have on ships and stuff. So I really like the added realism. And we have the little radar tracker thing here. I think it looks pretty cool too. Actually, it looks really cool. All of these detection components looks much more modern now. So here we have a passive sonar. So I don't know how passive sonars look at all, but I guess this is the model. As any other, looks a little bit better than the last, than the previous octagonal shape. And here we have a sonar 360, and it looks very clean, very simple model. It's kind of sleek, but also kind of boring. And these two together have a penile, I don't know, they have a phallic shape to them somehow. Not really, but whatever. I'm not sure I like the passive sonar and the sonar 360 updates. They are okay though, they are okay. The 90-degree sonar looks like this. It looks much more sleek and clean and less like a... yeah, it actually looks more like a speaker. It looks like a tweeter from a speaker set, and less like a sonar, I guess. But I think it looks much cooler, especially with the mechanical screws here again. And I just love that you can see the screws are actually metally shiny, and they give some reflections from other parts. Now this probably goes away as soon as we put a color on this thing, but I hope that's something they'll fix. In any case, moving on, we have the IR 360 camera, and it looks a little bit scary actually, but it makes more sense than the tiny little silly thing of a knob we had for 360 IR camera before. I think this makes much more sense. And again, the reflection in the camera lens is really cool, and it also gives a reason why we can detect like with a retro reflective sensor, which we will be looking at in a little while. So here we have again the IR camera, looking much IR camera-y, except that its connection points are actually a little bit offset from where you put them. So if you put them like on a thing like this, it just looks really weird. And one thing I want to try, that's probably to see how stuff looks like when we add a wireless receiver. So a lot of the times we just connect up things to a wireless receiver like this and just surround it with some blocks like this. And you can see this looks absolutely stupid. I think that the base of the IR camera should be a little bit bigger or something like that, because otherwise when we connect some of these components directly, we need to hide it up with mimics. But that's what we needed to do before as well, so there hasn't been a worsening in any way. Alright, so we're just gonna shave off some components here. This is of course the IR tracker, and I think this particular design looks absolutely stunning. It looks really modern, and it looks like something that should be part on any like tank or plane that sees in the dark. Very cool actually, and I love the little warning sign there. I'm not really sure what is the dangers of an IR camera, but whatever, it looks nice. So here we have the retro-reflective sensor, which you probably may know can detect reflections in camera lenses and stuff like that. Yeah. So basically it looks pretty nice like that, and it says constantly rotate around to search for targets using laser that pass through laser optics, but not be detected by a color camera sensor. It will find optical components such as wireless camera. Yeah, it's all the cameras. Probably only the cameras, but whatever. It's fun. Then we have one of the most important components ever, and that's of course the regular camera. And if I'm going to be a little bit honest, the regular camera looks a tiny bit plain. The last one looked more like a normal camera, but I guess this is cool. I think it would be nice if the little knobs here, the 1, 2, 3, would be kind of some RGB colors. It would indicate it's a color camera or something, but whatever. Just small minor things. In general, all of this looks really cool. Now we come to one of my least favorite designs. This is the camera tracker. This is something we use a lot, and it really looks like Wall-E or something like that. It doesn't look intelligent at all. It doesn't even look scary. It looks kinda stupid. But I don't know a lot about real military equipment like this, but maybe there are a lot of camera trackers that look like this. But I don't know, it feels like camera trackers are just digital processing, more like. But whatever, I never seen something that looks like this, and this looks stupid. But in any case, we have the coincidence rangefinders, and they look absolutely stunning. This is the normal models like this. I think they look super cool. It really looks like they have, what is it, like hydraulic recoil absorbers to the side here. I have no idea why they have that, but they have. They look cool though. And here we have the armored variant, which is of course only connectable from this side. And it looks really sleek like this, looks really modern. I do think it's a pretty cool design. If we look at a larger one here, we can see it's actually not more meaty, but it feels very meaty. Yeah, so they look super modern and super cool. If they just add some colors to this, that we can change color, it looks cool. One of my absolute favorites, which we saw in the last adventure mode, which was streamed on Twitch by the way, is this thing. This is the wireless snooper, and it really looks like some FBI equipment, and I like it a lot. Really cool. So wireless snoopers, sad we usually hide these away inside vehicles, because now I almost want to display this beautiful detection unit. In any case, yeah, I wonder if they are much Maybe it's good to have a wireless snooper on a stick. Maybe if we had like, I'm just spawning ideas here, but I guess that the wireless snooper gets really much better the closer it gets to the target. Maybe if we had a weird ship with like tentacles with wireless snoopers on the end of the sticks and like sonars and stuff, they could be really effective. Who knows? There are actually more components that has been updated, so we're gonna look at them. We have on defense, we have the chaff emitter. And the previous chaff emitter looks really cool. I never seen what a real chaff emitter looks like, but this just looks like a... you know those little tiny reflective mirrors that are inside projectors? Digital mirror or something. I don't remember the acronym, but it looks like those digital projector things. But I don't know. I have no idea how they're supposed to look, but this looks like a container. Otherwise, it looks like a container stuffed with, like, I don't know, stuff. Probably like trays for your military lunch. Yeah, I don't know. Or no, they look like molds for chocolate bars. Anyways, moving on to the heat decoy. I think the heat decoy looks pretty cool. We have this beautiful little metal design, and you can really see they're really supposed to heat up like that, and it would be really beautiful if it started to glow red while it got hotter. Now it already kind of has a reddish color, so I think that's really cool. It just makes it look hot by default, even though it's not on. Anyways, we have the radar decoy here too, and that's basically just a radar dish. It's just a radar dish. It has similarities to the radar detector, or 90-degree radar. By the way, I just love that the new radar mesh, the like detecting part, actually sticks out from where it's placed. So it can be really cool if we do a kind of seamless design when we have one of these inside, and it just has a dish sticking out like that. I think it's pretty cool. Well, anyways, the radar decoy looks absolutely fine. And so does the sonar decoy. It looks, again, still like one of these naval bombs, kind of, but I guess it works. Looks pretty nice. Now, the munition warners have been updated too, and they really more look like cameras nowadays, like 4 cameras stuck up like this. It looks a little bit alien and scary, but in general it's a very sleek and cool design, so it looks much more better than the original munition warner, which was like a mystery what that was supposed to represent. Anyway, here we have the what is it called? The Civs controller, and you can see it has a little keypad thing on it, so it actually has a slightly different design than a local weapon controller. Now, I'm not really sure I like the local weapon controller in that, because it feels like they have an obvious bottom, and if you place them the wrong way, they look stupid. But they work fine, and one thing I would like is that it was a little bit more clear which was the local weapon controller and which was the well, Civs controller. Maybe we could do that by having some more clear colored outlines or some stripe or something like that. Just, I don't know, pushing out ideas into the ether. I guess nobody that actually develops the game will hear this, but whatever. If you feel like you want to suggest it to the team, please do so. This is, by the way, a laser warner, and I don't know how a laser warner actually looks like, but this looks absolutely insane. It looks like a mini fortress of some kind. I don't know. It's like a tiny AI fortified fort. I don't know. It's just weird. It also looks creepy. I don't like it, but whatever. We have a smoke dispenser, and it makes a lot of sense. It looks like a grenade launcher from Bandits Phoenix Rising, or just some ventilation tubes. By the way, I did a playthrough on that game a few years ago, if you want to check that out. It's a fun one, and super hard. Yeah, then we have the signal jammer ECM thing, and I think we looked at that already, didn't we? Well, it looks like this, and no, we didn't. It looks like this anyways, and it's just a mystery structure. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be the base for a turret or something, but I don't know. There it is. And that's all the components that has been updated. So do check out my other little videos. This was just a little short one today, just checking through the different components. And if you want to see more videos like this, well, please leave a like and do stay tuned for future videos. And just when this video ends, there will come up a nice little video that YouTube is very sure that you will like to watch from me as well. So I'll see you next time. This is your host, Gmodism, and we're signing out.